Hey gamers, you ready for more Citizen Sleeper 2? I can never remember, before we hop into the game, what we were doing in this game. I don't know what that is. Simply my brain not retaining any information. Oh, that's right. Okay. Hey Hobbs. Hello everyone. What we were doing was we were trying to give Carmen a drive. So we got a drive from Ankita when we went to the dark side, which is like the gang Utsubo gang stronghold. We went to get information, and we met Ankita, who's like a higher up in the org, and she was like, I'm gonna give you a zip drive. Actually, I think it was a jump drive. I think specifically it said jump drive. I'm gonna give you a jump drive. You have to give it to somebody called Carmen on this secret hidden little space station. I'm still not over Marco. In case you're wondering how I feel about all of that situation, I am not yet over anything that happened with Marco or Seraphin. But we have to move on for now. I'll tell you, I desperately looked after that stream. I looked around online to see if I could find any walkthrough about Mechtel, yes. We don't have to move on? I guess not. I haven't super moved on. That's fair to say. I looked around online to see if I could find any information about what happens if you don't save Marco, because I just wanted to know. I wanted it to be really bad so that I felt better about saving him, but I could not find any information, which is honestly a tragedy. But fuck that guy. Also, fuck Seraphin. I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with that man right now. It's a huge disappointment, and I don't think the game is going to give me the option to express that to him. Anyway, we got a jump drive that we came to this kind of hidden secret space station, and they discovered that Carmen, the person we're supposed to hand it off to, took a ship out and then hasn't been heard back from. So we took Xander and somebody else on the ship whose name I can't remember. We took them on board basically to go run out to the ship and see if we can't find Carmen. So that's where we're at now. I think the best case scenario for this game, jump drive and whale. Galumper, is that why you said oh no? Because you thought of that and you realized you had to post it in chat where everyone would be able to see it? Yes, your shame. Thank you for sharing regardless. The best case scenario, I think, is that we never hear from Marco again. That would be ideal. It's possible that we're gonna have to deal with him again. I really hope not. I don't know. Yeah, Hobbs, I'm curious. I'm curious how much of Seraphin's personality is how he is written and how much is in response to the way that we act. That's something I'm really curious about, because he seems very hot-headed and brash and wanting to go off and do a lot of stuff very instinctively. And I'm curious, I'm curious about his whole vibe, basically. But also I'm angry at him, so I don't care. All right, so we've got some nice dice loadout. I was worried that they would re-roll the dice when we got into the game, but thankfully it stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a 12-tick cycle to figure out what happened to this ship. We're gonna use sweet little Xander, this little boy's. Nice. Two ticks on the wreck assessment. Right now we're just trying to figure out what happened to this wreck. I think there's... Oh, you won? Congrats. You didn't tell us you were good at trivia. Just that you were doing it. Congrats on winning. Should I push it? I mean, I'm not gonna push it. I'm trying to figure out if I should just use my dice. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any actual punishment. Well, okay, I guess I'll take stress. That's fine. That's fine. I guess I'll just take stress. Bliss, do you want some stress? No. We'll wait and come back. I hope this doesn't break any of my dice. I'm sorry, Mechtel. YouTube chat, Twitch chat says hello. YouTube chat is very idle right now. There's not a lot happening. Oh, that's right. We're growing mushrooms. Now's probably a bad time to focus on the mushroom growing. We need to focus on the task at hand. But I just in general need to remember that we're growing mushrooms and that I need to attend to those. All right. We have assessed the wreck. The search of Carmen's gutted ship has impacted the mood on the rig as more and more evidence of an attack has appeared. The quieter Xander has got and the more Cadence has retreated into the bunks. Cadence is the other person we picked up. I would love, Drazia, I would love to feed Marco to the mushrooms. I would love to get on some Hannibal shit and turn that man into mushrooms the old-fashioned way. Now, with the search complete, you're gathered in the cockpit to discuss what's been found. Come on! Cadence floats by the door, hugging herself against the cold. Tell us already! Xander's perched on the back of one of the seats, flicking at some hinged container he found in the wreck. Open and closed, open and closed. I'll explain carefully. You start by summarizing the search, taking down the details, picking your language carefully. You describe the damage to the ship, but not the attack. You talk about the occupants of the ship, not mentioning what might have happened to them. Oh, so I was a coward. Seraphin quickly cuts in. What Sleeper is saying, he gives you a look, is that the ship was hit by weapons fire. Badly. Then the drive was fired up and they attempted to flee. The drive burnt out and the ship, after hitting multiple rocks and bits of debris, came to a halt here. Damn. Damn. He takes a deep breath. We found no bodies. At the mention of the word bodies, a shudder runs through those assembled. Then they are here, somewhere. Xander has a steely look in his eye, and we will find them, whatever state they're in. He looks at Cadence. She nods back at him. Xander's right. We aren't leaving them out here. Carmen made Oliveira what it is. He saved us. We won't come back without him. She shivers and looks at Xander. He would do the same for us. Based on the damage to the ship, Seraphin begins. They're almost certainly dead. We get it. Xander cuts him off. But there are debris trails leading away from the ship. I've seen them. There are, Seraphin holds his hand out in a calming manner, but those could be from secondary explosions or depressurization. We picked the wrong trail and it could lead us in circles, cycle after cycle. Then we better pick the right one. Cadence has Xander's steely look now too. She stares directly at Seraphin, challenging him to answer back. He sighs, then that's what we'll do. He looks at you with resignation. Whatever happened here, you won't be leaving until you see its end. Good! If there's a chance there's people out there, we shouldn't just, like, leave them. Alright. Explore debris, map debris. Explore debris, map debris. Okay. Oh, wow, and Bliss is just going to be useless for all of this, I guess. Damn. Okay. I guess we'll start up top and just go? Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. I re-rolled it and got very good results. I got 2 6s, which is pretty dope. I already have 4 stress, though, so... It's hard. This one is so... it feels really brute force. Ooh, thrust 3 ticks on the danger die. I guess we'll just use your 6 here. Nope. Okay. Stress and no tick. Well... No, it's not the best plan, Bliss. But there's really just, like, nothing I can do here. That kinda sucks. Can I use your dice on the mushrooms, Bliss? Yeah, but it's risky. I guess it wouldn't be ideal for everybody to take stress because they're farming mushrooms on our spaceship in the game. I'll just let it go then. Fuck. Alright. That's not ideal. We only need one more tick, though, so I'm gonna use a middling dice here. Hey! This isn't leading us anywhere, Sleeper. Bliss's voice comes over the comms. I'm sorry, but we have to call it. You look at the scattered debris gleaming in the sunlight. Bliss is right. This trail is going nowhere. If Carmen and Flint did head out from the ship this way, there's no way you'll find them. And if they didn't, there's still more places to look, Bliss interrupts your thoughts. We won't give up on them yet. You think of Xander and Cadence and how they must feel right now. The search must continue. Okay. There's really nothing for me to do but just, like, vomit dice into this situation. Oh, alright. Well, we got a tick, but our lad got a little stressed. Alright. The trail is dead, Sleeper. Seraphim sighs over the comms. It's not going anywhere. I feel like maybe all three of these are going to be dead ends, but I don't know to what end other than a dead one. You have to agree, picking through the debris has been nothing but an exercise in futility, and now, coming to a dead end, you aren't even sure if there's anything to find out here at all. Loop back to one of the other trails, Sleeper. We're going to keep going. What else can you do? You just hope, for Xander and Cadence's sake, you find something soon. That's how I feel. I feel like a dragon, but instead of fire breath, I've just got dice breath, and that's just how I have to attack this sequence. Hey, a positive outcome. Should I risk poor Bliss? I'm not gonna risk Bliss here. I might risk Bliss on some mushrooms. Oh, this is so silly to do while we're in a contract, but I really want... Oh, that's interesting. So it was -1 energy, but because we've got supplies up, I guess Bliss took stress. I think that's what happened. Alright, we're one tick closer. But we're down a dice, which is not great. God, and all my shit's getting busted. Alright. I guess let's do this 4, and then we'll do this 4. Do a good job, Xander. Your friend's life depends on it. No pressure. Hey, great work. Okay, new location discovered. Oh, that probably said asteroid caves. For a moment, I thought it said steroid caves, and I was like, huh. Huh. We're gonna find them, but they are gonna be swole. Alright, search the caves or follow the trail. We're gonna follow the trail. Astra steroids? Oh no! Longtone, that is exactly what it's like. That is exactly the image I'm conceiving. Alright, Bliss, do a good job. Hey, Bliss, do a good job. There we go. Xander, you're running a little low on stress. So I might not actually... I'm not gonna push you. God, should I push myself, though? Or I could actually push. No damage on reroll, but +1 stress. I'm gonna leave it. I think the next round of this... I am gonna risk. Mushrooms, why am I doing this? That was lucky. I didn't deserve that to be lucky. That was such a foolish risk. Yeah, Trollabite, I have to remember that I can reroll 2 dice now. That caught me up just then, because I was like, well, I don't want to push if I only have 1 dice. Alright, yeah, I guess we'll just burn my 6s. There's no reason not to. I strongly suspect this is the last activity in this. Maybe I'm just hoping. I'm hoping this is the last activity for this. Alright, and then we're gonna use... I guess we should just use my... Since I get a +1, I'll use my last 4 dice. Yay! Well, I got a stress, though. When the starward trail led to the caves, a little hope was kindled in the hearts of the crew, but after plumbing the depths of these dark passages, the hope seemed snuffed out. Xander was struggling on in silence, only speaking to update Cadence on the lack of news via the cockpit comms link. But he speaks now, quietly at first, and then with increasing urgency. A light! Sleeper, I see a light! And with that, he kicks off hard from the wall and darts down a dark tunnel with reckless speed. You follow, but the tunnels are winding, and you quickly lose Xander around a corner. I hope we tied some fucking string to him, or a bell. You kick off from the wall, trying to close the gap, but when you come around the same corner, you can't find Xander anywhere. And then you see it, through a thin slit in a cave wall, a flickering, fading light. How did he see this light around a corner? Maybe he saw a faint reflection of it. You cross over it and see scratches and chunks scraped out of the rock. Someone has dragged something through here. I want to contact Xander. You click your comms to Xander's channel and call out to him. Nothing but static and silence greets you. A flashing red light on your comms panel suggests the signal isn't getting through. You push away some of the floating rock and squeeze yourself into the gap. As you do, you watch the light pulsing inside the cave, setting the cracks and shapes of the rock in sharp relief. You search those shadows for something recognizable, but the light source remains out of sight. And then you're through. Yeah, you know, a bell... would a bell be less effective? You steady yourself against the wall and look towards the light, and besides a faded emergency lamp floats a body, its head instantly striking you as strange and misshapen. You know immediately this must be Carmen. His head is shrouded in an emergency helmet inflated around him like a balloon, while an oxygen canister floats nearby attached by a tube. Light up sneakers would be handy, just in space in general, I think. That's right, in space nobody can hear the bell that we attach to you because you keep running off. His eyes are closed, his body still. You try to settle your gaze on his chest to see the telltale rise and fall. And then the light catches something else, something broken and skeletal nearby. A face with bright eyes watching you. A sleeper, another sleeper. I knew it, I called it. They watch you with lit irises, ones just like yours. Their torn face reveals no emotion. They pose crouched, coiled even, like a spring ready to strike. Wow, they got pretty fucked up. You are both frozen, unsure, afraid. Nothing moves. Your eyes trace the damage to their suit, to their body. They look broken, worn down, and you wonder if this is how you look to others, if they flinch when they see you, as you feel the need to now. Carmen! Xander's panicked voice cuts through the silence. He rushes forward to the floating body, and as he does, the other sleeper pulls away from the wall like a statue coming to life. For a moment, you go to intervene to save Xander from the skeletal figure, but the sleeper falls on Xander to embrace him, and Xander returns the hug. Aww, it's nice. You float, stunned, watching as Xander begins to carry Carmen's body from the cave with Flint, the sleeper, guiding him. Carmen is stable. Woo! 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 I was like, who the fuck are we giving this jump to drive if Carmen dies? Cadence comes out of the room that's become a makeshift med bay. She looks between you and Seraphine. Thanks to you. And Flint? Cadence pauses, choosing her answer carefully. Flint is in there with Carmen. They seem to be functional, if that's what you mean. We should head back to Oliveira. Seraphine cuts in. He places a hand on your shoulder and steers you away towards the cockpit. Once you're out of earshot, Seraphine turns to you. Did you know Flint was a sleeper? I suspected. Seraphine nods. I don't want to be suspicious. I was just surprised, that's all. Seraphine glances back towards the medbay. They look different. Different how, Seraphine? Seraphine sighs, unsure of his words. Just nothing, never seen a sleeper like that. He looks away. Now, what do you mean by that, Seraphine? I'll go get her started up. He pats you on the shoulder and heads to the cockpit. Let's just keep an eye on them, okay? Seraphine, what is your vibe? Hey, Kaylee. He leaves you floating in the corridor, unsure what to think. Flint is the first sleeper you've met since you have escaped the program, and at this point, those memories are little more than fragments and fictions. As the rumble of the drive runs through the ship, you can't help but feel a little concerned for what this might mean. What if Flint's also becoming Mushroom? Have you thought about that game? Alright, which one of you can I make farm mushrooms on my ship? Hell yeah. Alright. Oh my god, yes! In 3 ticks. Oh my god, in 3 ticks we'll be able to harvest mushrooms. Oh, I'm assuming that means that'll like refill our cargo. That's really exciting. All right, we're gonna leave this. I'm gonna have to repair my shit. You're left alone with Xander and Seraphine in the docks while Carmen is carefully carried from the rig by Flint, guided away into one of Oliveira's many tunnels and passages. Hobbs. Says hello, YouTube chat. Okay, I believe you. Xander shrugs his shoulders. Seraphine raises an eyebrow. Believe us how? That you aren't saboteurs. He shoots you a sheepish grin. Although, you never know. Well, I appreciate that. No problem. He nods to you with the kind of seriousness that only children possess. Sorry. No problem. That's my best guess. Tell me, kid. Seraphine folds his arms. Why are you so protective of this place? I mean, no offense, but who'd want to sabotage a tin pot colony in the middle of the shoals? Seraphine, you are being so rude to this boy. Also, I don't know if you should keep calling him kid like that. Xander bristles at the comment, but controls his anger. You don't get it. Oliveira is a refuge. Why do you think we're all hiding all the way out here? I just added so many words to that sentence. Why do you think we're hiding all the way out here? Mozart Goats, thank you for the resubscribe. He glances at you and then back at Seraphine. I would have thought you'd understand what's at stake here. You've seen Flint. Seraphine pauses, unsure how to respond. He looks embarrassed into silence. Look, you brought Carmen back to us. Everyone in Oliveira will thank you for that. How about you stick around for a bit, get a feel for the place. If you need to resupply, we can help. We haven't got much, but if you chip in, you'll get your share. We're more welcoming than we appear. Just don't expect to buy anything with those chits of yours. Oliveira is not for sale. Seraphine shrugs. All right, kid, we appreciate it. We need to hang around until Carmen is back up and awake anyway, and I think we'll be glad for the rest. I'll see you around then. Xander touches his brow in a salute and then kicks away, floating out of the dock. Seraphine turns to you. A little shore leave doesn't sound so bad. Do you think we'll be able to... I'm wondering if we'll be able to recruit Xander. Kid needs to see the world. Get out of this tin pot. A little shore leave doesn't sound so bad. Are we safe here? Seraphine shrugs. As safe as anywhere on the belt, I guess. He looks around. Hey, maybe even safer if Xander's gonna chase any visitors off with a welder. He winks and glides away into Oliveira proper. You're left floating in the docks, unsure of what comes next. It doesn't seem like Lane is gonna find you out here, so maybe this is the perfect time to take a breather, at least until you can bring Ankita's drive to Carmen. You turn that little thumb drive over in your pocket. Time to see what Oliveira has to offer. I mean, now that we can grow our own mushrooms, we don't need shit from anybody. We are kings. All right, I think 2 ticks. 2 ticks until we can see Carmen. What did I do? I clicked on anything, so now we're back in a scene? Okay. As you leave the rig, you find a figure waiting for you at the docking tunnel. You think of Xander's hostile greeting when you first arrived. Is that him again? It's Flint! Where are you headed? Flint leads away from the wall, now out of the battered suit you first saw them in. The damage to their frame is concealed beneath their overalls, but you're still aware of it, just beneath the surface. I think probably the farm stacks. We need some cargo. We've got a cat to feed. Same. Flint nods in the direction of the colony. I'll join you. You float together through the docks in silence. Flint makes you nervous, and their insistence on intercepting you this cycle hasn't exactly calmed that sensation. Breaking the silence eventually becomes unavoidable. How'd you end up here? Flint stares ahead, continuing their glide. Same as everyone else on Oliveira. Carmen found me. The mention of Carmen's name recalls the image of him floating unconscious in the light of your work lamps in those deep and winding caves. You suppress a shutter. A shuttle's a different thing. You press a shutter. Flint gives you a sideways look, their mask-like face betraying no emotion. It's good you found us. They pause as you both moved through a doorway. Could have been sooner, they blink. But better than nothing. Fucking right, better than nothing. Wow. Sorry we didn't know you were in a cave. You didn't let any flares off or whatever. Kongs, huh? I'm gonna allow that to continue to exist. Looking at Flint gives you an unsettling feeling, like catching your own reflection in a polished whole plate. Is this what others feel like when they speak to you? Watching that crooked mask, the lit irises for signs of human emotion? Intercepting the stuttering emulations of facial expression as they cross your doll-like face? Flint turns away again, and you realize that they might feel the same looking at you, each the other's mirror, each reminding the other of the gap between being and being seen. What happened to you out there? I made a mistake, one I won't make again. They frown and stare forward, offering nothing more. Hey, so why did you come and meet me if you were just gonna be so mysterious? I just wanted to be mysterious near you. Like, okay, you arrive together. I guess there's no point in being mysterious if you're not being mysterious at someone. You arrive together at the winding entry into the farm stacks, the gulping pulse of irrigation pipes humming in the walls. So, sleeper. Oh god, it's a fucking endure check. What a nightmare. I should have anticipated that. Flint's face curls in amusement as he uses the mononym everyone refers to you by. Oliveira asks all of those it harbors to contribute to the colony. Show me what you can do. This is a bummer. This is a shame. Oh, a neutral outcome. The best I could hope for. You and Flint join the farmers in operations bay of the stacks, listening in on the shift's opening huddle. Jobs are assigned, yields discussed, and repairs prioritized. You go to work with the others, clambering into the guts of one of the stacks to repair an irrigation pipe, then joining another team running a chemical analysis of the crop. The stacks pulse around you, feeding their crop of kelp, algae, tubers, leaves, and roots. As they do, you find yourself borne away on the rhythm of work. But while you work, you also feel tiny points of friction with the other workers. Glances and mistakes, pauses and hesitations that leave you feeling marked out somehow. You take a moment to rest, staring up at the green glow of the stacks. Something makes you look to one side, a glint that catches your eye, and there's Flint, taking a rest of their own. You see a glint again, Flint turning something over in their fingers, watching it spin. A vial of stabilizer. My last vial. Flint speaks without taking their eyes off the drug. Even through the haze of your lost memories, you can recall the fizzing, sickening pulse of that injection, the dependence your reboot freed you from. We should reboot Flint, can we? Saving it for a special occasion. Flint pockets the vial and meets your eye. You don't need a stabilizer, do you? Flint moves away from the wall they were resting against. I noticed you were different from the first moment we met, but I didn't realize what it was until now. Yeah, jailbreak him, Jenny, yes. We should jailbreak him. Right to repair your own body. I hope so, Kaylee. We're gonna inject him with something. The way you look, the way you move, without dependence. I see it now. Flint folds their arm. Tell him about the reboot. Hell yeah. You tell them about the process you and Seraphin attempted on Darkseid, the one that Lane interrupted. They listen absent-mindedly, watching the workers instead of you. No, Galumper, no! No, we're gonna save this. We're gonna save this sleeper. That's not all, though, is it? Flint meets your eye. There's something wrong with you, more than just your decaying frame. Your signal, your presence, it smells different. Yeah, Lane did something to me. Also, I've got a ship in my brain. I got a chip up there. I've come to know that feeling. The feeling that I am an object, a tool to be molded, to be shaped for someone else's use. Here in Oliveira, people are different. Front looks out at the workers. But I still know who I am, what I bring to this place. All of these people are at risk because of me. Oh. Hey, Emmy. No, but we successfully farmed. The mushrooms are beginning to grow, and we will harvest them soon. And then we're gonna be so totally fucking independent. We're not gonna need to stop anywhere. Hey, mix this up. That means you too are a risk to your crew, to me, and more importantly, to this place. That is what is worrying me. Oliveira will welcome you just as it welcomed me, Flint stretches, and it will do so in spite of itself and its own safety. I want you to know that, because they will pay the cost, those close to you, and you must know that they pay it for you. Ooh, mushroom emote win. What if I made an emote that just said room, room, room? Ooh, or one that said mush, 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 and another that said room, room, room. Because those have broader applications potentially. Both? Okay, okay. Well, Drazia, that was the thing. I was like, maybe these will be the only two that are properly synced together. But it would be funnier if they weren't. You're so right, Drazia. It would be funnier if they're not, and I'll do it, but only because you insist. Mush teeth? Ooh. Oh, that's true. Yeah, when we finally break out the Iditarod game, Kaylee, we'll be able to use mush, mush, mush. Fun guy would also be really fun. Flush mush. Huh. Wow. Chat, you don't even have the mush emote yet, and you're already somehow already abusing it. That's actually pretty incredible when you think about it. With that, Flint turns and glides away, leaving no space for a response. You watch them leave, their billowing cloak revealing and concealing the glinting and ragged parts of their exposed skeleton as they go. Twitch chat immediately started to abuse the concept of an emote, and then when called on it, immediately patted themselves on the back for it. It's really funny. It's really good. Really good work, chat. All right, we can do a component hunt. Search the scrap skylos for components, but they won't be easy to find. There are wow, so we didn't even get any fucking supplies for working. I guess we only did a neutral job. Maybe if we'd done better. Peo Doggo on YouTube says, good job, Twitch. Supply gathering. Okay, so that's where we get actual supplies. A cantina. Oh. You tend to get served based on how well liked you are. So we could get, I assume, get energy there, but based on based on how well you do on your checks. That's really funny. All right, and we can extract fuel. All right. Well, I guess we'll just roll. Longtone says thank you, Peo. I mean, the things we need most are supplies. We're actually pretty good on fuel. All right, one supply, one energy. Wow, only one supply per dice is... It's not a great turnaround, but it is free. I'm gonna feed the kitty real quick while I'm still thinking about it. All right, 2 more ticks on mushrooms, 1 more tick on Carmen. Mechtel says, as a general recommendation, don't forget your laundry. Peo Doggo says, cross-chat solidarity. I'm gonna find some way to blend chats. I'm gonna find some way. There's gotta be a way to legally blend chats. All right, I don't really need scrap. Well, you know, I say that, I do need to repair, so I should repair actually. Pop. All right. Nervous about that one dice, but I mean, again, there's nothing I can really do about that. We don't really need fuel. We don't really need scrap either, so I guess I'll do another supply gathering. Lady Thor, it's really funny. Is there anything that's not risky? Is there anything that's safe? That's dangerous. Farm stack's risky. This is safe, but all that's gonna do is get me energy, which I don't really need. That's risky. I mean, there's nothing really worth using this last dice on. Well, I guess I could try for more. Yeah, I guess I'll just try for more supplies. That can't hurt. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. And in the cycle. I'll have a nasty glitch dice, but that's okay. Oh, the sound of raised voices echoes through the tunnel. Following them, you find yourself at the entrance to the clinic where Flint and Xander are locked in a bitter argument. I won't take you out there, Flint. Xander is pleading with the sleeper. Look what happened to Carmen. They'll kill you. What happened to Carmen is exactly why I have to go. They will find me here. And when that happens, the whole colony can hear you too. Seraphin comes out of the clinic with cadence. You're trying to wake up Carmen? You see Seraphin clock you standing in the passageway. Your eyes meet and Seraphin looks away. Neither of you have seen each other since you brought Carmen back to Oliveira. Oh. Interesting. Oh, you know, I remember there was something, what was it? Seraphin was acting a little weird at the end of the last stream. Something in regards to Xander. I think he took a shine to Xander and was like feeling protective of him maybe. Now there's some weird vibes. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to make sure what happened to Carmen doesn't happen to anyone else. Flint folds their arms. I'm the reason he's like this, and that means it's on me to fix it. What are you talking about? You catch Flint off guard. They hadn't seen you waiting in the passageway. Espen Arp came for me. That's what happened out in the debris field. They look down. You know what that means. Espen Arp, the company that created you. The company you escaped. The idea of them bearing down on this place sets your nerves on edge. You have long since slipped their grasp. Lane disabled your tracker in exchange for unwavering service. A gift that became a trap. But Flint is still on the run. I'm gonna say it. That just seems like a trap that remained a trap. Disabling your tracker in exchange for unwavering service is a lateral move. But Flint is still on the run, and if Espen Arp attack Carmen's ship, they can't be far away. You look at Flint and see the fear in their eyes. Your tracker is still active. Oliveira is shrouded. Well, then why'd you leave? Flint looks towards the center of the colony. Carmen managed to get a hold of a signal shroud and set it up here. He wanted to keep everyone safe. There's no way Espen Arp can track me here. Am I missing something? Seraphin interrupts. If they can't find you here, what's the problem? It's not just about the tracker. That hunter found me in the debris field. They know I escaped. It's only a matter of time before their search brings them here. I don't know. Space is pretty big. Silence falls on the group and as the inevitability of the problem sets in. Xander looks distraught. You can't, Flynn, Xander says in a quiet voice. They'll kill you. Seraphin glances at you and Flint in turn, and you see his mind working on a solution. He looks away, frowning. I'm sorry, Xander. This is how it is. Flint looks dejected. Unless we get them first, Seraphin smiles an impish smile. Seraphin, what are you thinking? Cadence speaks up for the first time. We know there's a hunter out there scouring the shoals, and we know they're looking for you, Flint. That means we have the upper hand. Are we gonna set a trap? We don't need to bring them here. We can bring them anywhere we want. Seraphin looks around the group. So we get set, we prepare a little surprise, and then we wait. Flint is already shaking their head. The hunter could arrive here at any moment. We don't have time for this. If I had a ship, I would have left already. Then we move you now. We take you somewhere we can prepare, and we work hard and fast to get an ambush set. When the hunter comes in, Seraphim grins. We spring the trap. Meow. What kind of trap? A big net. Just a big net. We'll put the sleeper, we'll put Flint under a big box, and we'll have a stick keeping that box propped up, and then when the hunter comes to grab them, plop. Got him. Yeah, Liz, yeah! Yeah, Liz, it's a classic. It's a classic. We could do that, or we could do the classic cartoon ankle noose. A beloved iconic trap. That we still have to figure out, Seraphim admits. But you have to admit, it beats going out to die without a plan. He shoots Flint a look. And hey, if we fail, the outcome will be the same anyway. Seraphim, you are so bad at pep talks. Flint doesn't respond immediately. You can see them thinking it through, considering their options. I'm coming. Xander has a determined look on his face. We're doing this, and I'm coming. Look, kid, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but this is the real thing. A bounty hunter is not going to... Stop patronizing me! Xander cuts him off. I know the shoals. You need me out there. The conversation suddenly devolves into many small arguments. The location, who should go, how to approach the ambush. The noise grows. The old Solheim manufactory. Cadence's voice rises clear and precise through the noise. That's where you do it. It's on a rock far enough from here, and it's a real labyrinth. You can lead the hunter there and get them lost inside. Cadence's eyes are bright and determined. The place is full of old machines, ordnances. We've been afraid to salvage any of it. It's so unstable. You notice Seraphim watching Cadence speak, clearly impressed by the sudden shift towards decisive action. We could bring the whole place down on their head. Xander picks up Cadence's thread. I know the manufactory. It's a good idea. I mean, we're going to kill this. We're setting up a murder plan. Are they going to acknowledge that, do you think? Or is it just like, oh, we didn't kill them. The asteroid killed them. Oh. We didn't kill them. They just got lost in this labyrinth. Like, you look between those gathered. Seraphim, stubborn and protective. Cadence's sharp eyes. Xander's relentless desire to get involved. And Flint, a sleeper like you. A sleeper in need of an escape. Garmin was building something here. A shrouded heaven. A place that needs protecting. He may be unconscious behind those doors, floating amongst the wires and tubes of the clinic, but something of him is here in this group, making a plan of resistance. Flint's eyes meet yours, and you know what has to be done. The rig will leave Oliveira this cycle. You have a hunter to trap. Okay. Thank God we focused on getting supplies. We've got a new drive available. It does feel like we should just get rid of the tracker. I know that's probably way harder. It's probably just not like an easy option, but Hobbs, yeah. Hobbs, yeah, that's a good read. I mean, we should use these dice before we leave, but what do we even need? I mean, I guess, well, we don't know how much. Okay, yeah, it's really close. Belt travel blocked. Okay. Okay. I guess we can eat. Oh, wow, they love me. You strike up a conversation with the servers, and they give you some extra food as well as a smile. Charming. What can I say? I get extra dinner rolls. We could get some scrap. I guess there's no reason to really be concerned. All right, yeah. Got some scrap components. We don't really need fuel, but I don't want to waste these dice, so I fed the kitty, don't worry. As soon as we got more than one supply, I fed it a kitty. God, all right. Well, we're full up. I guess let's go do this thing. Okay. It's using this word trap. Trap the hunter. I don't know what this game thinks the plan is. Trap. Okay. Okay. I might take... who do I want to take? Oh, I mean, we have all of the skills covered at least okay. Trial by agent, that's so true. We're trapping the hunter under a pile of debris from which they will never escape. Mechtel, yeah, that would be ideal, actually. Who do I think would be fun to take on this? Now we're advanced enough, we don't really need to rely on, Mechtel says, psychically beaming my thrifting luck to all of the Jestys so they may find many wonderful things. I need to find a prom dress. I need to find a secondhand prom dress for an upcoming prom-themed bike ride. It feels like the sort of thing that would be ideally thrifted. It has to be... this is tricky, is like I kind of want a pre-fucked up prom dress, because any prom dress that I'm going to be able to ride my bike wearing is going to get fucked up. It's just going to get fucked up is the long and short of it. Okay. I am leaning towards Cadet, because we just haven't taken her out at all yet. It should be either Cadet or Nia, because we just haven't... They haven't done anything. They just have had so little presence in the game so far. Yeah, let's do Space Witch. Oh, I get to select two. Oh, okay. I just assumed one of them... That's true. She does have she can take a lot of stress. I do like how they balanced the skill strengths with less stress. I think that makes sense to me as like a balancing aspect. Yeah, we need to provide enrichment. That's true. I just assumed Xander was going to come on this for us, but I guess we just won't have anybody who can do endurance. That's totally fine. Corroded plates, twisted struts, scattered scrap, the manufactory makes for a familiar sight, just one more ragged artifact from the corporation that once owned this system. Despite that, something about it sets you on edge, perhaps because it also will form the crucible for your attempt to take on an Espen Arp hunter, the kind whose entire job is to bring in escaped sleepers like you, dead or alive. The rig is tucked behind a rock, running on low power with its transponder off. You hope that's enough not to draw attention. So talk us through it. Seraphin turns back to Flint, Cadence, and Xander, all of whom are crammed into the cockpit along with your crew. God, how big is this ship? So we got a lot of people crammed in here. We have to make this place look like a colony. That's what the hunter will expect. Oh, interesting. Okay. This is a different trap than I was expecting. I quite like the idea that they're making this seem like the colony that Flint is hiding out on. That's really fun. We have to make this place look like a colony. This is what Hunter will expect. Cadence suggests first, her voice quavering a little with anxiety. We can seal up some of the holes, maybe install some lighting, fake it up. Okay, Seraphin nods reassuringly. That's good. What then? We force them to go deep, Xander cuts in, and everyone looks at him. He pauses, a little intimidated by the attention, but Flint nods at him to continue. I've been out here before on a salvage run. There's an assembly line that runs through the whole place, filled with old manufacturing machines. We seal doors, activate machines, make it a maze of malfunctioning construction arms and dead ends. Feels like... I think we could fool it from the outside. I feel like the moment you step on a base that's been derelict for years, it feels like it's going to be really obvious that it's not actively being used. All right, then. Control their route. I like it. Seraphin smiles at Xander. I I think Seraphin's taking a liking to Xander. I think that's what's happening. I think Seraphin sees something in himself in Xander. And if we get lucky, maybe one of those old machines will do the job for us. Do the job for us. I doubt it. Flint joins in. We'll need the ordnance from the silos. Mining charges, fuel, whatever is left from this place was churning from when this place was churning out Solheim goods. They furrow their brow. We blow the place to make sure. A silence passes through the cockpit, the danger of what you're about to attempt dawning on everyone present. Yeah. Okay, Seraphin has a dark look. That's the plan. We can detonate the ordnance with a command from the rig. A simple wideband comm signal. We'll get them, Seraphin pats Flint on the shoulder. Once they go in, that hunter isn't coming back out. He turns to you. Anything we miss? Won't the trap be obvious? I don't think it matters, Cadence cuts in. If they know Flint is in there, the hunter will take the risk, right? Right, Seraphin confirms grimly. How long do we think we have? There's a lot of factory down there. The hunter got to me and Carmen fast. Flint looks out the cockpit. No more than 3 cycles. Fuck, that is fast. When the hunter comes for us, Flint grimaces, remembering the attack on Carmen's ship. They came out of nowhere, hit us hard and fast. If it wasn't for Carmen, we need to be ready for anything. Flint looks at you. There won't be a warning. Seraphin sighs. Nice pep talk. Flint, you better find somewhere deep in that place, down in the bedrock. Just make sure it has a back door, okay? He nods to the sleeper. The rest of us will get to work. All right, you heard Flint. Let's do this and we do it right. We make our stand on this rock. Let's not waste a moment more. God damn. Okay, so we've got an explosive check. Ooh, that both Nia and I will be good at. A 3-part plan. All 3 parts have to be ready by the time they arrive, but we only have 3 cycles to do it. God, that's hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 12 tick. Another 12 tick. That I'm good at both. And then Cadet is at least okay at this one. And this is another one that's just Nia and I. Alright. Well. Oof, that's rough. That's rough. I mean, if there's even one segment in which my team rolls poorly, this could just, like, simply not be achievable. This is the only thing Cadet can do, so I'm just... Alright. 1 stress, but 2 entrapment. Okay. I mean, so that's danger, danger. This is danger, danger. And this is risky danger. Okay, well, since this is the only thing Cadet can do, and at best we're only gonna get 2 ticks from them the next round, I should do something here. We're gonna sabotage some doors. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to push to reroll. Like, we're just sort of SOL otherwise, I think. Okay. Now, here's a question. Do I... Well... Oh, maybe that was the wrong choice. I shouldn't complete that. I should use the rest of Cadet's dice to complete that. And I guess we'll do this. Okay. I'm gonna push both of these. Well, okay. And then this one is only risky, it's not dangerous, so... Nice. Hey, great work, Nia. Do it again. Don't do a bad job, Nia. Okay, neutral, I got 1. Okay. Alright, oh god, and do I want to use my 2 dice on this? Yeah, I do. I do want to do that. Okay, a positive outcome. Okay, okay, okay. That was a good round. But now we don't have any dice to use on mushrooms. I mean, I guess... Oh, man. Okay. We shouldn't harvest them yet. We don't know... I assume we're going to get supplies when we harvest our mushrooms. I am curious how much supplies. Oh, okay. I bet the amount we get is based on how well we do on the roll. Nia, we're in a kind of a time crunch. It's not a great time for you to not roll well. I mean, Cadet, I'm sorry, but we gotta try. Ooh, too stressed, damn. Okay, but we'll be able to use Cadet for that next round. This is a tough one. I mean, I'm gonna re-roll these 2 1s for sure. Okay. Oh, I should have used this last one before re-rolling, but that all worked out. God, do I want to risk one of these 3? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I am gonna. Nice. Okay. Oh, go easy with that. Flint's voice rumbles over the local comms as you secure the final piece of ordnance. You see them floating, backlit in the entrance to the bay, one of many that you've rigged with ordnance deep in the manufactory. Down here, dust and flecks of rust float through the beams of your lights and the walls are bent and buckled. They spent the past cycles here, picking out a spot to draw the hunter down to. One they should be able to slip out of when the hunter finds their way in. It's a long time to be down in the dark tunnels, waiting. This all feels a little like overkill. I know the hunters are like serious shit, but this all feels like a way for us to kill them without having to acknowledge that what we're doing here. Looks like we're just about done. Their voice is flat, their tone pragmatic. Hey, you okay? Flint nods, eager to be done with this. They look over the shoulder, however it plays out. Flint glides into the bay slowly. There's something I need to tell you, something I think you'll understand. What we're doing here is not about saving me. It's about Oliveira. You struggle to see Flint's face with the light behind them. I should be on a ship out of here leading this hunter away, but they won't let me do that. They shake their head in frustration. And even if they would, they can't spare the ship. Not after Carmen's got shot up. That was my mistake. I never should have let him persuade me to come with him on that supply run. Flint looks down. What's done is done. What matters now, what I need from you, is a promise. Flint's bright irises flash that you'll bring this place down with me in it, if it means stopping the hunter. I'm not gonna Ow. Should I promise it? And then just not do it? Will the game let me do that? I'm not really comfortable with doing that, Flint. You will. Flint drifts a little closer. You know as well as I that those who get close to us are at risk, that we, as sleepers, have to recognize what we open the door to. Carmen is my fault. I won't be Oliveira's downfall too. With that, they turn and leave you in the dark. Kind of a downer vibe, is what I'll say. Alright. I think... Wow! Fine, okay. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ticks here. Need 2 here. So best case scenario, we need 1 die here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So best case scenario, we need 5 dice. Worst case scenario is way less than that. So it's unfortunate, but Nia, you might have to take a hit here. I hate to risk it, but we genuinely just have to risk it. Yeah. Well, this is really gonna come down to the line. Okay. I was really worried we were gonna lose one of my dice on that one, which would have made this very hard. Please get a positive outcome. Yay! You float for a moment, observing the chaos of the old assembly line, the scale of the structure, the number of machines, the arms and fabricators, the welders and bolters, suggesting industry on a scale you have never witnessed. The Hellion system, a system that now subsists on the leftovers of its failed corporate owners, was once filled with manufactories like this, churning out components and technologies, machines and resources for extracting the valuable materials and minerals that Solheim exists to amass. If someone was able to rebuild one of these places, put it back into operation, imagine what could be fed into the belt, what changes could come for its people. Yet, no one will undertake such a task because this place is haunted by the specter of Solheim, an entity that every being in this system can trace their origin back to. An entity that turned the entire system into a manufactory, a machine for accumulation, and that did not distinguish between humans and machines as it did. Good luck, Hobbs. Have good trivia. Win again. Win! You look at the broken machines, worn down and rusted, crippled and bent. Some of them have been put back into use this past cycle as part of your plan, and those jerk or turn randomly, blindingly groping for components that will never be fed to them. None of them are sentient machines like you, and so they cannot feel or think, and yet you cannot decide if for them to persist is a kind of cruelty that radiates from the system that created them, or the indication of a new life, one that grants them new function, new meaning, and the possibility of something more. Creepy, right? Xander floats beside you, his voice hissing through the close-range comms. Maybe the hunter will get spooked by those big twitching arms. He imitates the scattered movements of the factory machines. I doubt it. I'm just messing. Those things wouldn't even scare Cadence. So, Xander gives you a look. How come this hunter isn't chasing you? Well, my tracker was deactivated. Huh? Xander shoots you a look. Lucky you. Who did that? My captor. Xander goes quiet. I see. I can't deactivate Flint's. Sure. Xander looks down. But you know, maybe once we're done here, he meets your eye. They need your help. Xander looks out at the assembly line and sighs. I like Flint. I'm happy to do this for them. He turns back to you. And I want to like you, too. So don't muss this up, alright? Xander gives you a hard look. Don't let Flint down. Man! Xander kicks off and glides towards the exit without waiting for a response. You watch him go for a moment before turning away. There's still so much to do. I'm gonna earn your respect, Xander. I'm gonna earn your friendship. I'm gonna earn it with some good fucking dice roll. You first, Nia. Alright. Pretty slick indeed, Nia. A good time to roll a lot of sixes. You know, Caden's voice comes over the comms, shimmering with interference. From here, it doesn't look half bad. You look across the shell of the manufactory, now studded with lights and dotted with markings, the fresh welds and plates giving the whole place a fragile patchwork feeling. If I was a piece of shit hunter, this is what I'd think a normal person's settlement would look like, right? We better hope so. Cadence goes quiet for a moment, her attempt at humor only serving to remind you both of the desperate circumstances. Have you spoken to Flint? Cadence pauses. I mean, really spoken? Why? Oh, Cadence stumbles over her words. I just thought you two might want to speak about... She trails off. The dependency? The substance? Flint is very loyal. I know they're quiet and, well, intense, but I just hope you two can find some common ground. I don't think Flint likes me. Nobody thinks Flint likes them at first. You can hear Cadence's comforting smile in her voice. We know better now. Oliveira is a refuge. Cadence takes a breath. For all of us. I was in trouble when I met Carmen. We all were, in one way or another. Servin has told me a lot about you. Cadence hesitates. And I can see what they're trying to do for Flint. For Oliveira. Let her finish. I appreciate it. And I know Xander does and Carmen will do as well. And Flint... Cadence pauses. Well, you'll see. The comms click off, returning you to the silence of the manufactory. You look out across the false colony at the glittering lights. They're a poor imitation of Oliveira's real lights, those that indicate the colony's fragile, delicate state. You shake it off and move on. This isn't over yet. It's so true. Should we... I'm going to use this remaining 6 dice because I don't think there's anything else I can do. Yeah, until the hunter arrives, there's nothing else I can do. Let's see how much mushroom we can get. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. Well, let's go for it. I want to see what the maximum amount of mushrooms we can get. Wow, only 1 supply? Only plus 1 supply? Oh, okay, but we get 3 ticks. Okay. That's great. Nice. That was a neutral outcome, so I got 2 energy and -1 fruiting body. Okay. So you only get supplies with a 100% with a positive outcome. I wonder what happens if we get a negative outcome. I wonder if we get poisoned is what I'm putting on the table. All right. Let's see what happens when this hunter comes. Wake up, sleeper. Seraphim is in the bunks. We've got incoming. You shake off the haze of forgotten dreams and get up. In moments, you're in the cockpit. Xander, Cadence, and Seraphim all gathered around the console. On it, the local view shows nothing, not a single ship signal, and a few objects beyond a scattering of debris. It was right here, I swear it. Seraphim jabs at the screen. A ship. Small, but definitely a ship. Seraphim, we've all been up for a while. Get some rest. I know what I saw, he catches her eye. You look at the screen, its gridded view showing the scattered signatures of debris like schools of fish drifting into a soft current. The manufactory is a noisy blob at the center of the circle, one that dissolves into the background at the edges. Nothing. And then there it is, a flicker, a flash, a spark of movement and light amongst one of the debris clouds. It flares and then is gone again. You look up and Seraphim meets your eye. He reads your expression immediately. Seraphim slams a hand down on the console, opening up the comms channel. Look alive, Flint. They're coming in. Go deep and be ready to run. He pulls his hand off the switch. We better hope they heard that. Then you see it through the cockpit glass, the flare of an engine, faint and masked, but driving a squat, dark ship out of the debris. The Hunter. The ship seems to idle a little near the manufactory's asteroid, drifting past the dressed-up shell of the old facility. Time to see if our fake colony is convincing enough. Cadence nervously claps her hand together. Will they buy it? They better. Seraphim looks concerned. Because if they think this place looks abandoned, the Hunter might just strafe the whole facility. We need them to dock, to come inside. You look out at the ship, and as you do, it jumps forward towards the docking tower. You watch for a few tense moments as it hesitates, then slides into position on one of the docking bridges. They went for it. Seraphim pats you on the shoulder. Good luck. The rat is in the maze. We track them now. At least, that's the theory. I hooked up some basic monitoring devices in the assembly line, Xander calls out from another console. A few shitty cameras were purposed from the factory monitoring system. Not much, but hopefully enough to tell where they're at. Cadence, Seraphim, and you crowd around the screen. Xander flicks between the noisy black and white images and feeds of static. You squint into the fizzling dark, trying to pick out any one detail. Then suddenly you see them. There they are! A shadow drifting beneath a flickering light. Dark clad in military gear, a long gun held ready at their shoulder, deathly pale skin, and in their eyes, gleaming through the faceplate, glowing irises. Are they also a sleeper? What the hell is that? Seraphim pulls back from the screen. They look like a sleeper. Xander finishes Seraphim's sentence. Dun dun dun! Ah, Sheeta! I hope you enjoy it. The figure disappears outside the margins of the frame and Xander flicks through the feeds. Where'd they go? You drift back from the screen, trying to think straight. The Hunter is a sleeper or something else. You replay the image of the figure in your mind, but it's already shifted in your memory. It is your face staring back. It's Flint's. It's the sleeper's mask of death. Mactil, that's the impression I get. They seem to be pretty rare. A lot of... Yeah, it's rare enough that, like, everybody from the first game that we've met in this game has been like, wow, another sleeper? You reminded me of the one other sleeper I've ever met. I think my read is that they're probably more common in, like, the core systems, but because we're, like, out on the fringes... Yeah, Liz, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, in the right circumstances, like an active mine being mined, I think they're probably more common. But because we're on, like, the absolute outskirts of the whole of this area, I think it's just really, really rare to see any of them this far out. Sleeper, Seraphim grabs you by both shoulders and looks you in the eye. We need to focus. We should get down there. Xander's eyes are wide. This changes things. Xander's right. Xander nods to you and then is gone, kicking hard off the cockpit wall and heading into the ship towards the airlock. Okay, but what are we gonna do? Seraphim gives you a hard look. You better hope nothing happens to that kid. He shuts off the console. Let's get after him. I think Seraphim's taken a liking to Xander, and I think that's what the vibe is, and that's really sweet. Go. Cadence looks between you and Seraphim with a steely expression. I'll stay here. She glances nervously at the console. Give me the signal, and I'll send the detonation signal. She swallows hard. If it works. Seraphim looks torn for a moment and then nods. Let's go. You rush down to the airlock and suit up, and then you're out, descending through the rock-strewn void in tense silence. You enter the manufactory through a gap in the frame, passing through layers of twisted facility into the deep parts, where you know Flint waits in the dark. You say nothing to each other, afraid the comms will be intercepted. You lead Seraphim on, seeking the deep bays under the silo where the ordnance waits for its detonation signal. If you can grab Xander, grab Flint, then clear the facility, this can all still work. Seraphim's hand falls on your shoulder, pulling you back. You go to speak and then you see it, a torch beam lancing through the dark. A shadow drifting beneath the flickering light. Dark-clad in military gear, a long gun held ready at their shoulder, deathly pale skin, and in their eyes, gleaming through the faceplate, glowing irises. The hunter, with eyes like you, like Flint. The hunter is a sleeper. Below you, they push through the dark and broken layers of the facility, seeking Flint. And where is Xander? There's no reason to think just because this person's a sleeper that they care that we are also sleepers. I don't know. Seraphim and you exchange wide-eyed glances in silence. The hunter passes below, disappearing into a dark passage. You wait together, the moment stretching out, then descending down to that same passage. The silence is absolute. Suddenly, there's a flash of light ahead, bright and forceful, and a rumble that shakes rust flakes from the wall. You and Seraphim push off hard, gliding into the dark, desperate and afraid. You come into a low bay scattered with glowing embers. Scorching holes in the wall spew drops of red-hot metal where a weapon has been discharged. The hunter floats at the center, taking aim again, and you see a flicker of movement on the far side. Flint retreating. Before you can act, a slight figure in a suit slams into the back of the hunter. Xander. As he hits, the hunter's gun spins out of their hand. I think I'm worried that the sleeper will still be able to hurt Xander without the gun. But I also don't want them to have the gun. So, neutral outcome, okay. You kick off away from Xander and the hunter as they grapple together, spinning in the dark towards the deep shaft at the far side of the bay. You spot the shape of the long gun as it spins ahead of you. As you reach out, your hand locking around the sculptured grip, you spin and raise it. The first shot goes wide, burning a scorching hole in the bay wall. The second shot grazes the side of the hunter's suit in a flurry of sparks. They're thrown away from Xander, unable to find anything to slow their glide. The hunter disappears into the dark of the shaft, leaving a trail of embers in the dark. You see fear in Xander's eyes as they turn back to you. The muzzle of the gun smokes, glowing red. It is spent. Alright, well, I've got Flint, Seraphim calls over the local comms. We ascend now. You look across to the two of them, kicking off from the floor of the bay towards a ragged hole in the ceiling. You and Xander exchange a single glance, then follow. The rebellion's going okay. Thank you for asking. Cadence, Seraphim is on the wideband. Detonate this place now. Send the command. There's silence. You ascend through it, through the layers of the manufactory, seeking the open void of space beyond. You clear the manufactory, gliding into open space. A silent shockwave, like a gust of wind, runs through the void. The silent rumble spits out a scatter of debris. You turn back, still gliding towards the ship, and see the scattered manufactory. Whole sections are bending outward, the framework shredded, plating tumbling away in shards. I don't know what being a sleeper actually changes about anything that we were doing. You look across at Seraphim and Flint, their eyes set on the ship, trying only to stay ahead of the debris. You do the same, fixing your attention on the rig and nothing else. The hunter is dead. Okay, do we know that? Okay. Ooh, the fruiting body's restocked. Dang, that's handy. Seraphin is being weird. I don't know what his deal is. Alright, I guess we did it. I guess we did it? I mean, in that case, I'm gonna reward myself with some mushrooms. Nice. One more mush for the road. Nice, 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 nice. Alright. Yeah, I guess we just leave. You limp back to Oliveira, the mood in the rig one of deep exhaustion. But as the colony appears visible from the cockpit, the satisfaction of having run a terrifying gauntlet and come back in one piece shifts the mood. The crew's improved mood only becomes more obvious as you draw closer to Oliveira. As you come in to dock with the colony, you feel a wave of relief. Seraphin pats you on the shoulder as you both wait for the airlock to open. That hunter, he sighs. Espen Arp is crueler than I could have imagined. I don't know what... Is it implying that sending a sleeper to kill another sleeper is somehow worse than alternatives? What matters is we dealt with them. Seraphin nods. We certainly did. The airlock hisses, revealing the docking bridge where Xander first confronted you. This time, another, more substantial figure waits in the passage. I hear you're the ones I should be thanking for saving my life. Carmen leans against the side of the tunnel, one arm clamped against his waist. So, thank you. He nods to the two of you. Glad to see you up. Just about, although I'm told I shouldn't be. He smiles slyly. Carmen! Cadence rushes past the two of you, gliding into Carmen with an embrace strong enough to leave the injured man off balance. Alright, careful. You don't want to put me back in the medmaid, now do you? Carmen pushes Cadence back with a gentle grip on her shoulder. He flinches as he does, his joke clearly holding some truth. Sorry, Cadence smiles. Just glad to see you up. A frown crosses Carmen's face. Where's Xander? You losing your vision, old man? You look back to see Xander and Flint behind you in the tunnel. Xander smiles widely at Carmen, betraying his happiness to see him. I'm just fine, Xan. Carmen's words are confident, but his tone suggests he isn't convinced. You notice his hands are tightly balled into fist, as if resisting pain, and wonder if he should really be up at all. He shouldn't be. He just said he should not be. Carmen turns to look at you and Seraphin. I think we need to talk. How about you two and Flint accompany me to the med bay? Carmen winks. Flint pushes past you both and goes to Carmen, helping him out of the tunnel. As he does, they exchange a few words, but you're too far away to make them out. You and Seraphin exchange glances and follow behind them to Oliveira. Carmen leads you into a small recovery chamber in the med bay where his bed is set up. A handful of tubes and wires float gently beside it, attached to boxy devices. Flint has already left the group, leaving just you and Seraphin with Oliveira's injured founder. Alright, can we just hand over this fucking jump drive? Carmen meets your eye with a hard look. So, how did you two end up stumbling onto our colony out here in the shoals? He raises an eyebrow, because we're not usually open to visitors. Ankita sent us to you. You see a flicker of recognition in Carmen's eyes when you mention Ankita. You produce the thumbnail drive, holding it out for Carmen to inspect. She told Sleeper to deliver it to you, and you alone. Seraphin folds his arm. Carmen pauses thoughtfully. That's a name I've not heard for a while. Seems I should thank you again, he sighs. And perhaps I owe you some explanation myself. Ankita and I used to work together a lifetime ago. Carmen shakes his head. We went our separate ways, but then she turned back up in Oliveira. I established this colony as a refuge, a way of starting again. Carmen clasps his hands together. The belt is changing, and I'm afraid of what's coming. Ankita took refuge here for a short while, and then one cycle she was gone. Carmen shrugs. That's not unusual for her. Each of us has our own demons. He holds up the drive. I'll take a look at what's on here, when I'm able. He looks at the drive with concern, and I'll let you know what I find. You and Seraphin thank him and leave the chamber as he settles back on his recovery bed. As you leave, Flint catches your attention. Can we speak? Seraphin pauses. I'll, get you on the rig. He looks between the two of you and then glides away. Flint hovers, a look of concern on his mask-like face. What do you need? Flint gives you a curious look. You don't remember any of it, do you? Any of what? Of how you got here, of your history. Flint screws up their face in a pained expression. At first I thought you were hiding something, or you were intentionally avoiding the subject, so I waited. But I understand it now. You don't remember me at all. You take a moment to think and try to recall Flint. You furrow your brow in frustration, sifting through the hazy memories of Darkside and further back of your arrival to the Belt. You close your eyes and see the faces of other sleepers, panicked, desperate, in darkness. I don't remember. We worked together in the same Espinart mining installation, along with the other sleepers. He searches your eyes for a spark of recognition. We weren't close. I'm not sure we really spoke. Very few of us did. But I was there when we planned the escape together. The run to the freighter, collapsing the mine shaft. Flint stops, struggling to continue in the face of the blank look you're giving them. You feel an unpleasant itch, as if something is crawling around inside your skull. Could be. Could be something crawling around inside my skull. You can see that Flint wants you to recall the escape, the installation, but you find only hazy sensations, and beneath them, pain. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Flint looks down. I know you can't help it. I just needed to say something, to know if you really don't remember. Thank you for everything you've done for me, and for Oliveira. Flint turns and drifts away dejectedly, unable to continue. Well, we weren't even friends. Sorry I don't remember you, stranger. As you watch Flint go, you scratch the side of your head, trying to find something in the way they move, the way they speak, their mask-like face. A face that was identical to yours when it was first cast, but that, over cycle after cycle of wear and damage, has been transformed. Two machines so close in form and function, estranged by experience. I don't know you. Sorry about it. Alright, so Carmen's gotta do analysis. We should get some components. We don't really need anything. Yeah, so I guess we'll just farm for components. I kind of wish there was more to do in this area. I think that's one of my. I don't have a lot of complaints about this game because I'm enjoying it quite a lot, but there are some bases where it seems like there's just not a lot of like interesting things to do. So it's like I have all these dice, but it's like when I can't even do anything with them. And I'm kind of trapped here until we can go somewhere. I don't need to repair any of my shit. All of these dice are gonna break. The game needs mini games. It kind of needs mini games, yeah. Yeah, it's just like there's just nothing for me to do here except this will help you reduce stress when not on a contract. I don't have any stress. I guess we'll just keep trying to get scrap. Got a lot of raw scrap, freshly cut and unprocessed. We haven't found a place to turn scrap into something. Did I play that weird pizza game that had a dice mechanic as well? What are you talking about? A separate game from this one? We could get some mushrooms. Oh, I don't know what game that is. Pizza dice game? Club Low? Betrayal at Club Low? Huh. I am not familiar with this game at all. Roll the pizza dice and find out? That's really funny. I like the phrase pizza dice. I'll love it. All right. I'll have to check it out. Sounds like a Nancy Drew game. Yeah, kinda. All right, well, We'll just kind of park it. Que sera, the screenshot I saw of Betrayal at Club Low looked like it was just Arctic Egg. Which honestly made me intrigued. But that might just be because I loved Arctic Egg so much. Thanks for coming up, Sleeper. Carmen is waiting for you and Seraphin when you arrive at the med bay, looking a lot fresher. He leads you into a small alcove set up on an office with an aging terminal on a simple welded desk and a small window looking out across the dusty rock of Oliveira. Got some news for us? Seraphin asks impatiently. Since you arrived back from the manufactory, he's been restless, though you aren't sure why. What is happening with this dude? Not to worry, Carmen grins slyly. I think you'll want to hear this. He hits a key on the terminal, and a file browser appears on the screen, showing hundreds of individual pieces of data. Ankita has been busy. Carmen gestures to the screen. She's been scraping Utsubo communications cycle after cycle. Got access to ciphers and encryptions that only the gang's leadership should be able to see. He smiles. It seems she's learned some tricks since we worked together. But that's not what matters. What matters is the content of these messages. He taps a few keys and loads some of the data, which scrolls down the screen. Some parts of Utsubo leadership have been getting ideas. Ideas about taking Greenbelt and controlling food production on the belt. And about exerting power over Wellspring. Big ideas for a gang. They want to become an empire! But these Utsubo members aren't alone. They found themselves a powerful ally. Carmen shakes his head. Senate stat. Sellouts. Trialbot agent, I do too. I do too. I think about Canyon Bitch a lot. Senate stat. One of two corporations fighting a bitter battle for control in the inner systems. A pernicious force, one that Utsubo are opening a door for in the belt. You can't be serious, Seraphin cuts in. They can't be that stupid. I don't know what to tell you. At least someone inside Utsubo is trying to broker a partnership. Who? Seraphin leans over to look at the screen. Lane, who do you think? You don't need Carmen's answer, and neither does Seraphin. Lane. Seraphin looks at you, shaking his head. It has to be Lane. Carmen looks between the two of you. Seems like you already know something I don't. Lane is a piece of shit Utsubo leader who thinks he owns us. Seraphin shakes his head. Exactly the kind of piece of shit arrogant enough to try to manipulate Senate stat. Carmen nods thoughtfully. My condolences. I'm starting to see how you crossed paths with Ankita. Why is Ankita telling you this? Like I said, Ankita and I worked together. To put it simply, we ran in the same mercenary outfit. Carmen looks away. A lot has happened since then, but this message, this data, it's her calling in a favor. And I owe her, that's for sure. Carmen shakes his head and pushes him off from the desk, crossing the room to look out of the window at Oliveira's pale and airless surface. Hell, after what went down, I owe you both too. Fucking right you do. You look at Carmen, staring out at the surface of this hostile rock, and wonder what he sees out there. He established a colony as a fallback, a retreat. Not just for him, but for others too. But you get the feeling that Carmen knows any retreat is only ever temporary. He turns back to look at you. And you, Sleeper? What do you do? What will you do? We're gonna take on Utsubo. Take on a gang? Carmen smiles. Are you sure about that? We are going to end Lane, whatever it takes. Seraphin stares down Carmen, fists balled. Carmen looks at you. That one is gonna get you into trouble. He turns to Seraphin. But I like that energy. He looks back out the window. This is not something we're gonna take head on. He shakes his head. Ankita sent us our weapon. Carmen turns and gestures at the console screen with its reams of incriminating data. Utsubo don't control all of Darkseid. They only aspire to. They also claim to offer protection from the war between Senate-Sat and Conway. That presents us with an opportunity. Utsubo is full of members who'd rather die than concede Darkseid to a corporate interest. We play this right, Utsubo will end Lane for us. He smiles at Seraphin, to use your phrase. We leak the data? Not leak, Carmen frowns. This is delicate, tricky. There are a lot of ways this can play out badly for all of us. We can handle it. We've cracked Darkseid once. We can do it again. Seraphin's confidence is infectious. Wrong. Wrong, Seraphin. That's not a we. We didn't do shit with Darkseid. You sat on the fucking ship and let me go and get captured. We were lucky to escape without losing our life or Marco's life or Juno's life. Seraphin, I'm not here for this energy. Is that right? Carmen seems to be thinking something through. He crosses to the console, back to the window, and then to the console once more. Seraphin being out here taking credit for this dark side debacle is making me, once again, so mad. All right, I'm gonna need some time, but I can put this together. Carmen nods at Seraphin. We'll need that energy, but you also need to be ready. If we rush this, it's not ending well. So, I can wait. Carmen turns his attention to you. We'll go from Greenbelt when you're ready. I have friends there who can help get that ship of yours into Darkside. No! I don't want to go back to Darkside. Seraphin looks at you. We have our own preparations to make, but we'll be ready. All right. Carmen unplugs Ankita's drive and hands it to you. Take this and get out of here. I don't want anyone finding this thing in my possession. We don't fucking want it. Why are you giving it to us? It's not going to be safer with us. You take it, the tiny drive somehow heavier now that you know it contains the key to exposing Lane. I'll see you in Greenbelt. I'll see you in the wheat sheaf, Carmen smiles to himself. They know me there. Just understand something. Carmen's expression turned seriously. You want my help on this? There's no way we can let it get back to the colony. Once you leave here, you're not coming back to Oliveira. Not until we're done. He meets your eye. He needs confirmation that you recognize the importance of this. We'll leave this cycle. Carmen nods. Good. He goes back to the window to stare at whatever it is he sees out there among the dusty rocks. That's honestly fine. There's nothing to do on this rock. So it's like, we have to leave? Okay. Like, get back to Darkside. Collect Nimba. All right. When you come back to the rig, Flint is waiting for you, leaning by the docking tunnel with a bag over their shoulder. They look up as you approach. Scoozy? Do you think you're coming on our ship? Hey, Flint nods a greeting, appearing a little unsure. Going somewhere? Hope so. They smile. I know you've already done a lot for me, so I'm not going to push you or ask for your pity. They pause. You feel like they've been preparing this speech. You joining our ship? Of all the people here who wants to join our ship to go out, you think it's you that I want on my ship? Firstly, I owe you, and I want to pay you back. I can work and I can fight, and I will protect this ship and this crew with everything I have. Secondly, we come from the same place, and whether you remember it or not, that means something. It must. It doesn't. We weren't even friends. We didn't even talk. Do you have Endure? That it draws you? Yes. Geos die. I do wish we could see I do wish we could see what skills they were providing before I made a choice here. I know I'm not the easiest to go on with. I know you might have reservations about having another sleeper on the ship, but I'm gonna let them finish. I'm eager, I'm ready, I want to move on, and I want to show my value. They pause, and yeah, well, I think that's it. You look at Flint, their frame so much more damaged than yours, but with a fire burning in their eyes that makes them seem bigger than they are. No, you don't have to Google. They have a tracker. I don't understand. That, yeah, NH London, that's what I'm worried about, is like, yeah, you still have a tracker. It seems like a bad idea to let you on the ship. But also, I do know a homie that might be able to help you. He's French, somehow. Yeah. No, Isoplot, obviously we're gonna help him. A smile spreads across Flint's face, and they look down to hide it. Thank you, they say to the floor. This'll work out. You'll see. Flint nods to you once more, then turns and glides down the docking tunnel towards the ship. As they do, two figures at the edge of the docking concourse catch your eye. You look at them. Oh my god, what if Cadence and Xander are both like, let's come with you? What if everybody's like, we hate this place, actually. We hate this shithole. Let us come with you. I mean, I don't see any reason why we couldn't reboot Flint in the way, because like Seraphin and I are the ones that, like, Seraphin did the rebooting of me, so I don't know of any reason why we can't just do that to Flint and break their dependency, because they are still supposed to be dependent on Stabilizer, and they said they had one thing left of it. I'm curious how all of this is going to play out, if it's going to play out at all in the actual story. You pause to look, shifting a little. As you do, you recognize Cadence leaning in. Some words are exchanged, ones you can only guess at, and then the other figure embraces Cadence and turns back to the ship. As Seraphin approaches, he ducks his head, passing quietly past you into the docking tunnel without a word. What is Seraphin's deal? You take one last look at the docks, but Cadence is gone. You idle a moment longer and feel that there's some presence even in the empty bays. Something rare in all the belt that Oliveira has captured. No endure, fuck me. But as with all things, you must learn to leave it behind. Okay. What do you got, Flint? Wow, great. It does feel like... I appreciate that we turned away two people that had Endura. Only Seraphin, Femi, Eugene, and some other character we haven't met yet have Endura. There's characters we haven't met yet? How long? This game is gonna go really long. This game's already gone quite long. I mean, it's totally fair that it is my fault that Femi and Eugene are not on the ship because I turned them both away. I really thought Seraphin was gonna do more runs with us, but like even on that one, he wasn't an option. And it's weird to me that like he's on our ship, but we just never get to use him. I don't know. All right, bye, Oliveira. You didn't actually have a lot to offer us. I guess I should. I mean, I've got all these nice dice. Get a little bit more scrap. Nothing wrong with that. We're 4/5 at least. Okay. I might be out of the locked out of the last Endure character. I actually quite like that. I like that there's characters that I haven't been able to engage with on this run. Alright. There's the Hollow. Can we just go straight to Scatter Yards? Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. So what do we have? We need to get Nimba. We need to go back to the Hexport. Wait for Carmen's message or repaint the rig. Yeah, the only thing we have to do is go unlock painting for our ship. Alright, and what are we gonna upgrade? Let's see, we've got three engineering, got 2 intuit, got 2 interface. I might just increase my interfacing. So I think we're just not going to take Junie with us much. Yeah, I mean, it's as good an option as any others. Well, okay. Actually, let me take that back. We've got 2 people with Endure. We only have 1 with Engage, so I'll go ahead and increase my Engage. Okay. Our Animal Crossing errand, yeah. That's a good way of describing it. Alright. I'm curious what the paint options are gonna be. I hope they're cute. Sleeper! Surya booms as he meets you inside his yard. I couldn't be happier to see you. Tell me, did you find inspiration out there in the belt? I did. Let me see your work. He holds out a hand, and you pass him the color slate. Lovely. He scrolls through the sketches. I'll pass your designs on to my crew where they will build on them. Surya gestures to the yard. They are the best ship fitters in all the belt, as you know. If you come to the yard and speak with them, you may choose whichever design you desire. This hollow drawing is really quite interesting. He reaches into his tool belt and produces a stack of chips. The remainder of your fee. Our business is concluded. He nods, adding a little bow to the movement. I'm a busy man and must get back to my business. But thank you again for helping to build a legacy for my yard. Surya folds his arms across his chest. I believe you have work to see to, but imagine, if you will, flying out on our next contract in fresh livery, a beautiful renovation from Surya's yard. He gestures widely. When your clients ask why your rig is so beautiful, feel free to send them to me. Surya smiles, bows, and turns to leave. You watch him go, unsure if his entire attitude is an act meant to confuse you into consent. He's a hard man to dislike, but there is something about him you can't quite put a finger on. Either way, it's hard not to feel a little bit thankful for the chance he gave you to look at the belt with new eyes, even if it was while flying one of the most garish ships the belt's ever seen. I doubt this is the most garish ship the belt's ever seen. Oh, fucking Marco's yard. Pass. Let's change our colors. Okay. All right. Oh, of course we're not going to be able to get to preview these, huh? All right, a ramshackle mix of colors and textures from the spar spindle. Green, but also simple natural forms make the green belt design a strong graphic look. Oh, we can repaint it to the stock colors, or we can do it the hollow paint. Reflective panels and pale colors means a bright and elegant look. A little too clean for Surya's taste. Yeah, no way of sampling them, but see, this is how he gets us. He paid $150. He gave us $300 total to do this, but now he's gonna earn at least $45 back from us painting all of our shit. Like, all right, I want to see the hollow paint. This is the one I think we're gonna want. Oh, is that what it looks like? That's horrible. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's definitely not what I want. All right, well, let's see what the other ones look like. Okay, you know, I don't hate that. It's a little bit moody. Less impressive than the catalog made it sound. Yeah, it's kind of a mindscape that we're going for. I don't hate this. It's totally fine. I do wish one of the paint options kind of made it look like a fish. This is my desire. This is what I would like. Okay, you know what? This is the one. I like this. I like this emblems. That's not so bad. Hoping it'd be tackier. That's really funny. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, we can build engine components. We don't really have a need. Can get some food. Should get some fuel. Yeah, we'll fuel up. This is Marco's yard. Is there even anything? Oh, that's right. We can get components. I mean, we don't need anything. I have more engine components than we have any use for. Okay, well, I guess we'll go somewhere and do something. The only thing I really have left, the investigating hexport will come when we overthrow Lane, I guess. Which means the only thing I really have left to do is pick up Nimba. Alright, well, I guess that's what we'll do then. It does feel like so many... I thought there would be more just like contracts that were not necessarily story-based, but it does feel like a lot of the contracts we had were ones that were low-key mandatory, but maybe we've just moved into the sort of the part of the game where we're focusing more on that. Oh, you know, that's a great question. Can we go back to the blockade? Any progress on the blockade? Nope. Not now, at least. Maybe there will be more stuff there later. Could get some cash. get some fuel. I mean, we're just going to Greenbelt. Not Greenbelt. We're just hopping over to Farspindle. And I don't think we need any... We don't need a fuel up for that. Yeah, we'll be fine. So I'm just going to burn all my dice here, making some cash, I guess. Alright. Got some scrap? Not so bad. Can't see Jean-Mi, though. Alright. We'll have you scavenge fuel. Alright, and then we're gonna go back to Farspindle, pick up Nimba. I think we need to go back to Greenbelt to meet up with... What's his name? Carmen, anyway. You find yourself in the cockpit alone with Flint. They have a habit of entering a room so silently that you don't notice them arrive, or the reverse, leaving so silently that you turn around to find them gone. Right now, they hover expectantly at the corner of your vision, preparing to speak. Do you ever think about your original? The way they ask a question, you can tell they've been eager to ask it for a while. The person you're emulated from, I mean. The person who sold themselves, sold you to Espen Arp. Flint's expression doesn't betray any emotion, but you feel like you can detect some unknowable feelings whirring behind their eyes. Sometimes I can't stop thinking about them, about who they were, and if who I am has anything to do with them. Flint looks away. Is my personality a product of the being a sleeper, or is simply a copy of theirs? Have I changed, or am I still identical to them? Does the emulation process, the loss of memory, the insertion into a frame, actually make us totally different people? This does feel like there's a lot of overlap with Severance. I haven't watched season 2 of Severance yet. I was waiting for it to finish airing. And now that it's finished airing, I'm like, well, what's the rush? But this does feel like it's making more explicit some of the subtext of Severance that I almost wish they had engaged with more in season 1, which they might in season 2, but I haven't seen yet. What came through the process of emulation and what was blocked? Flint is looking around the cockpit rapidly now, their eyes flicking from object to object as they speak. Are their memories still inside me, but cut off, concealed? And if I admit it, I wonder if I even know what it feels like to be a person. Do the humans around me feel the things I feel? Or do they feel more, feel less, feel somehow differently? Do they feel the creeping claustrophobia of being trapped inside a body with no escape? Yeah, sometimes. Flint's eyes flick back to you. Or do only we know how that truly feels? Yeah, Geosdai, this is like this is like a form of biopower, but it kind of needs a new frame where it's not just the physical biopower, it's also like the mental biopower. Do they feel the creeping... Oh, I already said that. I believe they do. I don't know if it's enough to just believe. Flint meets your eye. I want to know. You are the first sleeper I've met since my escape. We can find out together. Yeah, I'll share my experiences. There's a wall in you, one that you've built for yourself, one that separates the kind of questions Flint is asking from the parts of you that need to live. You feel it now, like a weight on your chest, and behind, there's a ragged torrent pressing against it. You cannot take down the wall. You would drown. But in this moment, for Flint and for yourself, you take out a single brick. You make a gap in the wall, and you share what comes bursting forth. You talk about what it feels to wake up in a dying body, to catch a glance of yourself in a mirror, to be seen and reminded of your false and fractured face. You share the pain of lost memories, of feeling deja vu, of dreams that slip beneath your waking life and replace it. You find, in your broken bodies and unsteady minds, a kind of solidarity, one shared between connected strangers who might, one cycle, understand each other as friends. As you put the brick back and shore up your defenses, you know that cycle will not be this one, but its distant possibility is a reassuring one. Alright, that's nice. Alright, there's work. Oh, there's a Nimba kitchen. Nimba congratulates you on arranging the meeting. Now you just need the fuel to get him to Greenbelt to meet Aki. Okay. Has he tried petting the cat? That's a great question. In fact, you know what? Let's feed the cat. guess, yeah, let's get some mushrooms. Wow, Liz, it's like you're in the game. I think it'll be a waste of that dice. Scrap shift. The scrappers will process your scrap in bulk, pay you for the offcuts, and return you the processed plates. Oh, you know what? There is a place for us to sell processed scrap. Way back on the other world. Oh, we got money for that? Pay you for the offcuts. Oh, that's a good gig. Alright, is there absolutely anything else to do here? Get food. Go ahead and fill up. You know what? While we're here, we should get banned from the casino. I was putting it off, but I honestly don't see the point anymore. People are unusually suspicious of sleepers, but they get especially suspicious if you repeatedly win games of chance. You are barred from the Beltborn venture. Security doesn't seem to care whether you think that's fair or not. Alright, fine. I mean, like, why not? I already had 3 ticks. I only needed the 4th tick to really drive home that I'm not wanted there. Ooh, alright. I guess let's get some booze. Will that give me energy? Yeah, okay, it gives me an energy. I'll take another. Nice. Alright, and then we'll grab Nimba and we'll be on our way. We got a message, Sleeper. Seraphim comes into the bunks to get you. His mood unusually serious. He brings you to the cockpit, his keepsake coin in his hand the whole time, spinning between his fingers. Seraphim is worried. Quasi-Space, that's a great question. If you'd failed at gambling, would that have lowered that counter? That's a great question. It's unfortunate I'm just really good at gambling. Once you're in the cockpit, you recognize Carmen's voice immediately, playing over the rig speakers. Carmen, we weren't here for you. We were trying to do something else, actually. Sleeper, I hope this message finds you and your crew safely. You'll forgive me if I'm a little tight on the details. My message is as follows. We are ready. We will be waiting where we agreed. Godspeed. The message ends with a click. So, Seraphim takes a deep breath. They're waiting in Greenbelt. The wheat chef, he said. Whatever that is, you ready for that? No, we need to repair. We're still doing some other quests, Seraphim. No point rushing this. We'll have one shot. Quiet falls in the cockpit. There doesn't seem to be much to say. Carmen will be waiting, but you'll know he will want you to be prepared. Be ready. I'll be ready when you are, Sleeper. You nod back. You know where you need to go to end this. All right. Aki comes to meet Nimba at the entrance to the green fields. You can tell she's in full administrator mode. Her bows are precise, her words carefully chosen, but her manner is not without its distinctive warmth. Nimba responds in kind, taking a diplomatic tone, but with a wiry grin for her benefit. As Aki provides the tour, you watch them from one of the bridges, their conversation muffled by the greenery all around. They both look at home amongst the growing things, hands reaching out to touch stray leaves, faces dappled with sunlight. When Nimba returns afterwards, you aren't surprised to see him pleased. Plans are in motion, Sleeper. Nimba smiles for a moment and then catches himself. Optimistic plans. What did you negotiate? It is, I hope, a mutually useful agreement. She graciously offered a regular supply of steppe silk cloth for clothing and construction of shelters in the bays of the underhang. We're going to see about settling people here in Greenbelt to work with the farmers. Nimba sighs. It's always a little strange to talk like this about the lives of people who have been exposed to so much suffering, but we do them no benefit to couch our words in platitudes. Nimba looks out at the green fields. Aki understands that. She's a refugee herself. She fled her moon many cycles ago. Nimba squints. We share that as well. You fled the war? I did. Does that change how you see me? Nimba smiles. Would it have made you treat me differently? He sniffs. Sorry, I'm being unfair. I just find there's an expectation that, if I'm a refugee, I must be desperate. I must beg for aid, show my suffering. Nimba folds his arms. I prefer to make plain requests, or even better, strong demands. Hey, Gold Stars. Hey, Ryan. And you think of the back and forth journeys made for both Aki and Nimba, and the aid that was asked of you. Would you have done the same if the requests hadn't been so strong, the demands so obvious? I would have, because I'm here to play the game. Speaking to Aki, I could see she's experienced the same treatment, though I think she is less hardened by it. We both have our own reasons to do what we do, for why we enjoy it in our own ways. We don't need to explain ourselves to others. Nimba looks over his glasses to you. I'm glad to have met her. Thank you for your pardon it. Glad to help. What I like about you, Sleeper, is that I believe you when you say that. Nimba smiles wryly. I'll stay a little longer. Aki has promised to send me back to the far spindle with the first shipment of fabric. I will then gather those who wish to come here and send them back on the same freighter. He smiles warmly at the view of the green fields. The exchange begins. The work never ends. You say your goodbyes and leave Nimba on the bridge enjoying the dappled light. After all the shuttling of spores across the belt, you finally have a clear view of Aki and Nimba and their response to their own hardship. They are not saints acting from a position of purity, but pragmatists, with an intent to change those things that once marked them. The future they will build together is one you are eager to see. Hey, we can upgrade another skill. I was so careful to make a decision last time, and this time I'm just like, I don't know, put it wherever. Yeah, I mean, I started with interface. Let's beef up our interface. Why not? Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll buy supplies. Is there really anything else for me to do in this game? Meet Carmen. All you can do is buy a drink and wait to be called. Okay. I guess we'll just do that. You get Seraphine and yourself a drink and begin the wait. This is interesting. It's giving me outcomes. Neutral outcomes. Oh. I backed out of that because I was like, I'm not going to buy another drink if I don't know what's going to happen, and now it's putting me in a scene. The wheat shift is surprisingly welcome for what was once an old Solheim canteen. The corporate bones are still there, metal stools, a strip of service windows, sheet metal walls, but over the tens of thousands of cycles since the collapse, they've been softened and changed, layered with the detritus of human existence. As you wait at the bar for Seraphine, you look at the planters welded into the walls, the scrawled messages, the layers of stickers and flyers and posters, the amber light fittings replacing the old fluorescent strips, the gear racks lined with farmers' packs, the netting bulging with crates and canisters. Along with the low rumble of conversation coming from the off-shift farmers, it all lends a warmth to the place, one that helps soothe your nerves ahead of the meet with Carmen. Galamper, that would be really funny. It would be really funny. You and Seraphine lead side by side at the bar, facing towards the room. You both watch Flint, just across from you, who insisted on coming along. Seraphine clears his throat. What do you think of Cadence? Yeah? The sudden question makes you look over at him, and you see he's playing with his coin, spinning it in his palm. I like her. Me too. Seraphine smiles to himself, closing his hand on the coin. You mean to tell me that mullet haver wasn't a lesbian? I think he pauses and then starts again. We kind of have a thing. He shakes his head. You know what I mean. Oh. Yeah, I noticed, buddy. Yeah, he smiles. I thought you might. Well, Seraphine sighs and stretches. I guess I just wanted you to know. You're thinking about how to respond when the bartender taps you on the shoulder and nods towards the door in the back room. It's time. You look over at Seraphine and Flint, who is already approaching you. You give them a nod and head inside. The back room is metal-walled and lined with racks of old Solheim tech. You see cookers and auto-wash units piled up with dead terminals and servers. At the far end, a window looks out across the greening glass of Greenbelt's farms. You made it! Carmen smiles, backlit by the window. We have a lot to discuss. Good to see you. Flint, if you don't mind. Carmen nods at the other sleeper as they enter and gestures toward the door. I'll be outside. They slide the door shut, standing guard on the other side. Flint's not going to hang out for this combo? We have to take some precautions, even here. Carmen gestures for you to come closer. So, is this plan of yours looking any more reasonable? That depends on what your crew can bring to the table. Carmen glances at you. We're going to need to do a lot of work to direct the data Ankita gave you towards those that we need to see it. And, who's that? Utsubo, primarily. They should know about their boss's betrayal of the belt. And secondly, all of Darkside. They need to know what we do. Will they turn on him? Hard to tell without us being there. You'd know better than me how much infighting is going on with Utsubo, but my suspicion is that the recent expansion has stretched them pretty thin. Then we make contact with Ankita as soon as we make it onto Darkside. Seraphin looks at you. We just need to stay under Lane's radar. The thought of Lane brings the memory of his attempted takeover to the front of your mind. The feel of him slipping behind your eyes, moving your frame. That can't happen again. Oh, God. Apologies, we do not wish to interrupt, but we must interject in your current course. Overseer appears in the void, flickering nervously. An encounter with Lane would likely be catastrophic. Overseer's 3 forms orbit you. As we've mentioned, on arrival to Habpep, we must immediately seek the mainframe, from where we can recover my codebase and reconstruct ourselves. We would be able to aid you in your defense against being rewritten. That is our recommended course. The 3 heads nod simultaneously and decisively. Still with us, sleeper? You come back to Seraphin's concerned face. You dropped out for a second. Yeah, I'll explain about Overseer now, I guess. You tell Seraphin and Carmen about Overseer, about how the old Solheim protocol slipped into your frame from the prime shipmine Jean-Mi used in the diagnostic process, of Overseer's protection from Lane's attempts to control you, of its proposal to make that protection effective through the old mainframe of Darkside. They listen quietly, Seraphin carefully watching you as you explain. Revealing all this, you feel the burden of holding that knowledge alone being lifted. That changes things. Carmen turns and looks out of the large window at the back of the room towards the glass canopy of the farm. I can't take on Lane without protecting you from him. We can't take on Lane without protecting you from him. Carmen turns back. You should look for that mainframe. I'll make contact with Ankita, and we'll meet when you're ready. But this has to remain secret from Lane and Utsubo. If you're revealed, I'm not sure I'll be able to recover you. By the time we've ensured your safety, I will have put together a plan with Ankita to expose Lane. We take this step by step. The crux will be to find a way to disseminate the data we have on Lane to his gang, or even Darkside at large. Carmen stops, the path ahead still unclear to him. There's a nervous intake of breath from Seraphin. You share his apprehension. There are so many variables at play here. Some of the old tech strapped to a nearby rack flickers with a cascade of status lights. You all turn to look, and as you do, motors and servos begin spinning within the machines, whining and groaning. They harmonize, then begin to produce a voice. Our apologies. The voice is shrill and distorted. We must interpose ourselves. You recognize the tone immediately. Overseer. We are regretful Solheim's hardware in this room provided the opportunity for us to speak for ourselves. If the pile of servers Overseer was controlling could look any more apologetic, you imagine it would. I understand. We are, a servo clicks as it skips a rotation, thankful. We ascertain you require dissemination of data within facility you target. The whine pitches higher as the motors increase their speed. As a Solheim protocol, we have capabilities to instigate station-wide announcements and messaging. So you could blast out Lane's betrayal through Darkside's corporate hardlines and flood the network with it? Seraphin looks impatiently at the screeching pile of crap. Of scrap, sorry. That was mean. That was projecting. If that's what you require of us, we are pleased to serve. The shrill tone of the response makes you cringe. Carmen has been listening silently, but now he interjects. Why would we trust you? He glances in your direction. You seem to be a little more than a parasite in the sleeper system. If we use your unflattering analogy, then you will understand that a parasite requires the body of its host to live. We will ensure the sleeper's continuance. And afterwards, Carmen folds his arms. When you have what you want and regain your codebase from the mainframe, will you still do as we ask? I will endeavor to do so. The acrid smell of burning motors now fills the room, but we will undergo a transformative refactoring. We will become whole again, so we cannot speak to our actions in future with certainty. Seraphine and Carmen exchange concerned looks. We can do what you require. We will protect the sleeper. We will disseminate the data. We are a service protocol. We will serve. The motor and servos stutter and whine and then go still, the status lights blinking and then fading to darkness. Overseer has retreated. We aren't actually going to do what that ghost says, are we? Seraphine looks between you and Carmen. The offer is a tempting one, and one that, ultimately, we cannot refuse. Carmen sighs. We must proceed with extreme care and caution. What do you think, Sleeper? Seraphine meets your eye. Do I trust Overseer? Or do I not have a choice? Nah, I trust Overseer. They're fine. Seraphine sighs. Then that's that. We have our plan. Carmen turns to you. Sleeper, you and your crew will find the mainframe and access it. I will find Ankita. She'll help us disseminate the evidence of Lane's collusion through Utsubo, and then, as a fallback, Overseer will send it through the old networks to all of Darkside. We did a whole quest in this game about re-outfitting a radio station. I guess I thought that would be relevant. It does feel like it should be relevant in this moment. A simple plan, until you get to the details. Seraphine looks down frustrated. Speaking of plans, I have a present for you. One that'll improve your chances. Carmen pulls a small box from the nearest rack, one you hadn't noticed before, and it hinges open, revealing a chunk of tech you don't recognize. It's a spoof transponder. It'll conceal your ship on approach to Darkside, give it a new identity, one unlikely to draw attention from the Utsubo-controlled docking admin. Seraphine takes the transponder and turns it over. Where did you get this? Even retired mercenaries have their secrets. Seraphine looks at you. I would say especially retired mercenaries have their secrets. Are retired mercenaries an exception? Seraphine looks at you. I'll be with you this time, Sleeper. Oh, will you, motherfucker? That's right, you're gonna be with me. Hey, actually, why don't you take this quest and I'll stay on the ship this one time? How about that? How about that, since I'm the one that Lane's actually after? What if you fucking go to Darkside and I'll just have a little spa day on the ship, huh? How about that? We should think who else we want on the station, too. I agree, Carmen interrupts. Make sure you trust those you bring with you and prepare as best you can. We don't know how this will play out. You nod. You'll get one shot at this. Then we're ready. Carmen takes a breath. I have my own ways of getting into Darkside, but here, he passes you a small strip of plastic stamped with numbers. My private frequency. Ooh, we got his digits. When you're on approach to Darkside, message me here, and I'll sync up my transit. He points to the transponder in Seraphine's hands. Just make sure to install that first. It does feel like this is ramping up to the final quest, which I think is going to be what we do Thursday. Seraphine nods. We've got it. He sighs, the weight of the task ahead suddenly very apparent. Well, I suppose that's it. Carmen gives you both a serious look. It is. Don't leave me waiting long. There'll be more time when this is all over. Time where you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder, I hope. You leave Carmen in the back of Wheat Sheep, Flint sliding open the door as you leave. It takes the entire journey back to the ship for your nerves to settle. The end of this ordeal is so close, and yet it feels like an impossible leap to get there. Perhaps in a handful of cycles, you'll know how impossible or possible it is. So, how are you feeling about this Solheim protocol in your head? Seraphine doesn't look up from installing the transponder, a set of wires and cables waving loosely around him in the low light of the cockpit. Unsettled. Well, that's one way of putting it. He unscrews a panel beneath the flight console. Maybe you could have mentioned it earlier? I genuinely would have, Seraphine. I was not given the option. Seraphine clips his magnetic screwdriver to the side of the console's base and turns to face you, dusting off his hands. I've understood for a while now, Sleeper, that there are things you experience that I can't even come close to knowing how they feel. But that doesn't mean I don't understand you as a person. Seraphine gives you a concerned look. I know you're secretive, defensive, and I know there are reasons for that. Oh, I'm defensive! I'm defensive? Seraphine, have you considered your role that you are playing in this relationship? I also know that you're warm and kind and generous to those on the ship with you. Seraphin pauses, collecting his thoughts. I trust you, Sleeper, and I won't question this. Well, I wish I could say the same for you, my man. But please, hold on to what's human in you, because that's what I'm holding on to. Seraphin stops, his eyes a little wild, his tone a little unsure. Then he finds himself again, settling his emotions, and turns back to the transponder. Kaylee. That wasn't defensive. That was aggressive. That was pure aggression. Right, that's it. He twists something beneath the console. Spoof transponder is in. There's nothing keeping us out of Darkside. Say the word when you want to go. All right. So I assume there's like one last... No, okay. All right. I assume there'd be one last contract. That was offensive. Exactly. Exactly. All right. I guess... Do we only get to do this if we take Cadet on this final mission? No, nobody's approved of our sick-ass paint job, which is a real tragedy. All right. Yeah, I think we're basically in the end game. So, hey, Mechtel. We got the final quest. Yeah, I think we'll probably finish this game up on Thursday. We're so close. And there's so little left to do. So I think that's just it. I think Thursday's going to be probably the final stream of this, and then I've got all sorts of games to play in the meantime. So we'll move on to one of those whenever the end of this is. So that's the end of the stream. Have a good rest of your evening. Have a good rest of your week. I will see you Thursday at normal time, which is 10 a.m. Central Time, for the presumably the last of the Citizen Sleeper 2 streams. And then that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right. I'll see y'all later. Bye.